layout. Now this is not my technique. This is just one that I saw ages ago. Actually, to be honest, I saw Natasha Foot doing it, and she was doing it on a card, and I thought one day I'm going to do that, and today's the day. So I've pulled out some re-inkers, some Distress Oxide Re-Inkers, some colours that go together, and I'm just running a bit of washi tape around the outside border just to keep me a nice crisp border on this layout, because I didn't feel like it was going to need an extra, you know, like a contrasting colour, because I felt like it might, you know, if I can get this to work. And I don't know why I guessed that, well, second guessed myself thinking that I probably couldn't, but you know, give it a go. So what I'm doing is I've just got a flat edge. So that bit of plastic next to me, it came with something. I don't even know what it was, but it came with it. And all I'm doing is dotting on some of these Distress Oxide Re-Inkers. This is basically the ink that goes into the oxide pad, but it's still in the bottle. So it gives you the ability to use it as a paint, basically. Now, I put a lot of pressure on this before realizing that, you know, maybe less pressure might actually work. And this is what I'm sort of doing just to create my own background. And in the end, once I sort of got the hang of it and realized, you know, maybe the tiny, when I first put down some of the ink, I actually was squeezing the re-inker. Don't do that. If you're going to try this, in order to get, see how I'm just, that one, I wasn't actually squeezing it at all. I literally was just touching it to the surface. And that gave me a shorter, I mean, if you want your lines to go from the very top to the very bottom, by all means. I was trying to just create a colourful background that is super duper simple. It's something that if you want to give it a go, you can do this with paint, you can do this with re-inkers, you can do this with if you've got an eyedropper or a pipette, you can do it if you mix up some watercolours, you can do it with that and just drop it on there. Anything that is a fluid medium, you can do it with this. So I just basically went in, what colours did I use? Prized ribbon, peacock feathers, squeezed lemonade, twisted citron. That's the one I'm putting on there at the end. And PUMICESTONE. Yeah, they're the ones that I use, PUMICESTONE. I was just thinking, hang on, there was another. Oh, there it is. Iced spruce, black soot, and PUMICESTONE. I do come in with some black. I wasn't sure. I wanted to keep this nice and bright color wise, and this is where I came in with just getting this on there, and I really liked, and I did use a bit of tumbled glass as well. I used a little bit of that, but because you can't really see it, all the other colors pretty much overrode it, so, and went over the top of it, so it is in there. But by all means, what I was originally, I'm going to do this layout again, not this layout, but I'm going to do this process again, and now I've had a play with it. This was literally the very first time I've ever done it, and I turn the camera on and I'm like, you guys get me warts and all, and if it works, it works. If it doesn't, you get to see that too. So this is where I did bring in some black soot. Now, the less pressure that you put on your piece of plastic, the more opaque the oxide's going to look. Does that make sense? So you can see there where that black soot, it's actually quite thin towards the bottom. I wasn't actually angry about that, because once I put the black on there, I'm like, oh, I've kind of lost my really bright layout that I wanted. But it's okay. It's all right. It's fine. Now, these triangles are leftovers. If you watched a video, it was actually a couple of weeks ago, and this was one of the cut file inner pieces that I was literally, the bits I didn't use. They were the inside pieces from the cut file, but I didn't throw them out. I left them stuck to the mat, and I just put them back on the shelf because I knew that I would revisit a layout and be able to use them. So, do I use them on this layout? No, because I realized that once I put my photos across, these photos are of Angela when she broke the base down on her finger. Literally, I think it was the first couple of training sessions that she had. Like, it wasn't very many. It's one of those things where you go, learning on the job. So if you're new to my channel, my daughter, she's 15, and she decided that this season she wanted to play AFL, AFLW, so for the under 15 girls. And this was learning to catch a ball correctly. So unfortunately, it landed the wrong way. It healed up pretty quick, and unfortunately, it was, it's one of those things. It happens. We can't all hit the ground running, so to speak. So this is where I then pulled out iced spruce and peacock feathers in my actual oxide pads, because I didn't want to use the liquid, obviously, because it's going to run everywhere. But once I have it in the ink pad, you can spread it out, and it made it look really cool. So these colours were not... The reason I went with these colours, pretty much, if you have a look at the photos, there's some hospital curtains and hospital flooring, and it's a bit boring. So I kind of went with those tones, those blue greens, that sort of thing, which the peacock feathers works perfectly for. And then I'm just pairing it with a super simple iced spruce. And believe it or not, if you're looking, I've had this question a few times very recently. Sorry, I've had some sunspots, and I've been to the skin specialist, and this is your conscience speaking. If you have been sunburnt in your childhood and or early adulthood, go get your skin checked, because I went and got my skin checked, and I've got 7 sunspots on my face. Now, the main reason I went and got my skin checked is because I take medications that allow me to get very, very burnt very, very easily. And that does happen. Like, I can't even go in the sun, the winter sun, for 10 minutes without getting burnt, which is insane. But subsequently, I have got sunspots, and I have literally just scratched one of the... I've gone down the path of, they've given me cream, this gel to use, and I have to use it for 2 months solid. I think I'm up to week 5 now. So I'm getting there, but they've told me that it's going to get worse before it gets better. So I think I'm at the worst point. I hope I'm at the worst point, because believe me, it hurts. So hopefully I do not go outside now without a hat on. I do not go outside without 50 plus sunblock on my face. And for everyone overseas, I'm in Queensland. Queensland is sunny, hot, and yeah, the old UV, it gets you. It's a great state to live in if you love the heat and the humidity. But unfortunately, it's assisted in me getting some sunspots. So, at 47, having 7 sunspots on your face is probably not great for the future. So I am fixing that up. So that's what, if you can hear me with a tissue, that's what I'm doing. It's so annoying. No, that's all right. So I am going along these letters. Now, I printed these, I cut these out on my Cricut, and I did quite a large offset for me, but I kind of felt like it was going to need it, and I'm glad I did do it. And I'm just doing a drop shadow line with my black Posca paint pen just to give some movement, and it kind of makes these, when I'm doing that with my hand, guys, that's where my light source is. I have to keep reminding myself that's the direction. If there was the sun up the top there, it would be shining from that angle. Therefore, I put my shadows on the bottom right. Some people choose the bottom left. It doesn't matter which side you do it, as long as you're consistent through the entire thing, through the entire title, it works. So there's no magic science to this. I do some and they look amazing. I do some and I'm like, I put that line in the wrong spot. Whoops. It's not the end of the world. No one really notices, but it does look good when you do a nice big chunky block style like this and you give them a drop shadow. When you've cut out an offset, it makes life so much easier. It's great. Now, this layout doesn't have all the extra. I wasn't going to put heaps of, what do you call it? You know, all my blingy bits. This was not a blingy bit kind of layout. This was one that I decided that I needed to simply do this one and not have extras, because I think the background is so busy that if I had have done, you know, all the blingy bits and stuff, I think it would have taken away from the technique itself. So I didn't do that, but that's okay. You know, we live, we learn. You know, if it's not quite what you're expecting, I have got another stack of ideas that I'm going to use this technique to create another layout. And I've got to say, I'm not disappointed. It turned out okay. I was okay with this. And it definitely draws attention to the black and blue situation. Now, I am going through my washi tape. Now, I've actually, last week, I have actually done a couple of washi tape layouts because, you know, I forget to pull them out. They're a scrapping resource that I've spent money on and I don't pull them out very often. So I decided on this one that I was going to do a double washi tape border. Now I'm using a metallic-y shiny one and I'm putting that down, and then I'm moving about 1/8 of an inch or maybe 1/16 of an inch below, and it's, sorry, I did that in inches. Okay, so maybe 1 or 2 mil below with the matte blue one, and I think it looks really good. It gives you that sort of pinstripe look, and I think that goes really well with the layout. So this is how I do it. I'm literally just, to get the tape straight, because I realize if you get the tape wrong on this layout, it's going to stand out big time. So you can see me using the grid mat under my plastic mat, so my self-healing mat. I line the layout up straight across one of those lines, and then when the washi tape goes down, see how I just lined it up? So I'm not magic when I line things up. Sometimes I use your mat to your advantage. If you're scrapbooking on top of one of these self-healing mats so you don't damage your work surface, trust me, use it to your advantage. It helps you line things up without adding precious time that we really don't have. And yeah, so yeah, it's not too bad. I really like how this one turned out. And sorry, I just had a text message. We've had a bit of family drama today, so I did read that, but it's all right. I think my husband is on it, and I believe he is answering the message, I hope. So yeah, it's pretty good. I'm pretty happy with this end result. I am definitely, let me know in the comments below, are you going to give this a crack? Do you think this is something that you would like to do? Even if you don't have the Distress Oxides, I have just thought about it. If you've got the Distress Oxide sprays, or even the Distress ink sprays, or the Distress, what do you call them? Your stains. You could just unscrew the bottle and just do dots with the end of your spray dauber and then do the drag. You could do it with that. So, and it doesn't have to be Distress. You could be doing it with, there's so many different sprays out there. So give it a crack with any of them. I've just gone down, you know, you could even use your gloss sprays because they would work amazingly. The Dina Wakley gloss sprays, they would be amazing. And I've noticed, I really want to get it. Talk about FOMO. There's some new colours out. So some fluoro neon ones. I want to get my hands on those. So here is the layout, guys. Let me know what you think. You can see that little bit of a metallic strip. You can see the title with that bit of black underneath. See how when I turn it, it looks like it's sort of 3D because of that drop shadow. So that's why I do that. Don't forget to like, subscribe, leave me a comment, all the good stuff, and I will be back with another video for you tomorrow, guys. Thanks so much for watching, and I'll chat to you soon. Bye for now.